Hey everyone, Brent from BC Does back again to bring you guys a hopefully another watchable video. We're up to 45 subscribers now. Only need to get to 50 and then we can live stream. And that's probably when I'll start bringing you folks some baseball card openings and things like that. Don't have a lot new to talk about today except for I mentioned in my last video that I'm trying to get completed discography from a band from got their debut album in 1994. I'm talking about Sponge. And I told you folks that I had some more albums coming that I had ordered off of eBay. And one of those came in today. And I wanted to give the album, I've never heard this particular album from Sponge, and I wanted to give it a full listen before I came on here to the channel with you guys. And so I was sitting in the chair and kind of dozed off, so I'm a little groggy. I was listening to the music. I got a recliner in here in the man cave, and I got my CD player over there and I was listening to it and I was like, just dozed off. But anyway, yeah, man, so music stuff. So I showed these two albums here in my last video. This is Sponge, Wax Ecstatic. This is their sophomore album, their second album. And this is Sponge Galore Galore, which is their, I think their fifth album. And one that I was waiting to get in the mail is this album right here. This is Sponge for All the Drugs. And man, I'm telling you, if you've never listened to this record, I can't believe I never listened to it. It is fantastic. I just listened to the whole thing. It is absolutely fantastic. Bluesy, there's a lot of clean guitar in it, deep lyrical content, which is not something you would expect from Sponge, but this particular album had a lot of deep lyrical content in it. Songs like Leave This World, excuse me, 28 Days, Dandelion's Roar, Sanitarium, man, they're all great guitar, great music. You know, listening to this album tonight, although this album came out in 2003, and this is why I wanted to complete this discography. I'm sure I'm going to end up getting one of their albums and I'm going to be like, okay, it's not that great or whatever. But right now, you know, this album is fantastic, For All the Drugs. This album is fantastic. One of my favorite albums of all time, Wax Ecstatic, which I had heard many times. I just didn't have a copy, so I wanted to get it. This album, Galore Galore, is fantastic. Now, once we start getting into this, we've changed from their original members, and the music did change a little bit. And the one thing I'll say about Galore Galore is you could tell, you know, if you got a keen ear, you can tell that it was mixed 2 different times or maybe engineered at 2 different times. And certainly it wasn't produced all at one time. I don't think they went into the studio and just kind of laid down the whole album, because as you're listening to the different tracks, you can hear like differences in the mix. Like some tracks would be louder in general, some tracks would be softer, some tracks the drums are louder, some tracks they're softer, some tracks the guitars are louder, some tracks are softer, some tracks the vocals are louder. So you could tell it was kind of all over the place. But this is when I think he lost a lot of his original members, and he had got some new guys in the band, and they were trying to put out this record. This particular record, Galore Galore, came out in, I think, I can't see, 2008 or 2009, I think it is. This album here, Sponge for All the Drugs in the World, came out in 2003, and they still had, you know, most of their original members in this one, and obviously Wax Ecstatic being their sophomore release, they had all their original members on that album. Now, I do have Riding Pinata. It's coming. It's on the way. Should be here Saturday, and I'll bring that to you when that comes. But so far, I haven't heard a bad song on any of those albums. I mean, they're all great. And for me, man, to go back and get this whole discography is like, it's like finding a new artist in 2024 that's a new band that's in the vein or style of music that I like to listen to, because I've never heard these albums. I mean, I've heard Riding Pinata and I've heard Wax Ecstatic through and through, you know, multiple times, and a lot of times actually. So I really don't know what happened to me when, because this is Wax Ecstatic, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. This was their next release, and I don't know why. 2003. Oh, I know why. In 2003, I was going through some stuff in my life, and I really wasn't buying a lot of new music at that time, or really didn't have the ability to buy new music at the time. And that's probably what happened, you know, through that whole discography. It's probably why I don't have it, because I have, and you can't see it, it's off camera, I have, you know, a lot of my albums that I bought back in the day, I have, you know, I still have. Oh, anyway, before I go any further, I got my window albums up here. So like I say every time, you can guess the albums, leave a comment down in the comment section below, and the first person that gets them right, I will definitely comment back. Although if you comment to this video, I will comment back to anything that you guys have anyway. So, man, what a joy to sit and listen to For All the Drugs in the World. Just a fantastic album. I was completely blown away. I was reading some Amazon reviews about the record as I was listening to it, and everybody kind of felt the same way in the reviews. You know, there are Sponge fans out there in the world. There's quite a few of them, and they all were saying the same thing. Another great rock and roll album. Deep, heavy lyrical content. Sponge did it again. We need to go out and buy these albums to get Sponge back on a major label, because Wax Ecstatic and Riding Pinata was on Columbia. I don't know what happened after that. Maybe they only had a 2-album contract. I don't know. They've been on a lot of different labels. This one is on Idol Records. The next one I'm gonna buy is called New Pop Sunday. That's on BMG Records. Their first 2 albums were on Columbia, and the other one, I'm drawing a blank right now. The other one that I'm fixing to buy, I can't remember where it was, but it was on like another indie label or something like that. And a lot of the stuff that I saw in the comments was, because this, like I said, this is on Idol Records, which is a small independent label. And a lot of the comments that I saw on this is their, I'm sorry, I said this was their release after this. I think, so either this was their release after Wax Ecstatic or New Pop Sunday was. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But a lot of people are saying, hey man, we got to go out and support this. Now these reviews are from 10 years ago, 8 years ago. We got to get these guys back on a major label. And so they can get a better production, I think is why people saying that. Because the talent is there. The talent with Sponge is there. The songwriting ability is there. The lyrical content is there. The emotion is there. I will say this, that this album is more of a straightforward rock and roll, bluesy rock album. This album here is a lot more experimental. This is more of an experimental album. So, you know, this is obviously their sophomore release. They wanted to try some new things, but this is more of an experimental album. It's fantastic. I like them both. But I will tell you, if you listen to Riding Pinata and you listen to Wax Ecstatic on Columbia Records, sonically, it just sounds fantastic. I would love to see, now they just came out with a new album, Laboratory, in 2021. I would love to see them be able to get back with a major label. And I was thinking about, you know, I was sitting there listening to For All the Drugs in the World. Man, if they could get on a major label with that record, who would I want? Who would I want if Sponge come out with a new album to produce a Sponge record. Who would I like to be producing a Sponge record? And one name kept coming to mind over and over again, and that was Bob Rock. Call me crazy, but Bob Rock. Bob Rock has produced some of my favorite rock albums. Gravity from Our Lady Peace, Bob Rock produced that. Bob Rock's produced Motley Crue. Bob Rock has produced, obviously he produced the Black Album by Metallica. He's done production work for Bon Jovi. And Bob Rock just has this uncanny ability to take a band when they come in and kind of strip them down and make them work for their sound. He's got a really good ear for what sounds good sonically. And Vinny from Sponge has a really, really unique vocal, a really unique sound. There's not another singer out there that sounds like Vinny from Sponge. Kind of like the singer from Our Lady Peace. There's not another singer that sounds like him. And I feel like Bob Rock could really accentuate that if he came in and produced an album. So, that's just wishful thinking. I'm sure that's never going to happen. But yeah, I just wanted to bring you folks this video to kind of continue the journey with you guys through my collecting of the discography from Sponge. As they come in, I'll come out with a new video talking about that album as I listen to it. But I'm very interested. If this comes across your feed and you get this far in the video, which I hope you do you remember Sponge? What are some of your favorite songs from Sponge? What are some bands like Sponge's that you remember from the mid 90s through the early 2010s that are kind of more obscure, some more obscure albums that you guys can leave in the comments below, because it's hard for me to remember everything, and I like to go out and get this music, and maybe your comment will jar something in my mind like, yes, that's right, that was a fantastic album, let me go out and get that. I mean, are we talking about Presidents of the United States of America maybe, or Space Hog, or maybe it was Green Jelly was one of those obscure albums from the 90s. Maybe it was the Butthole Surfers, Electric Larryland. Maybe that was one of the albums from the mid 90s. Was it a Radiohead record? Was it Silverchair Freak Show, which is a fantastic record that came out in that time. So just really interested, really love to interact with you guys. Listen, if you are so inclined, if you could leave a like on this video and turn those bell notifications on. I'll post a new video every 2 to 3 days. I really want to get and comment on this video and bring your comments here. I really would love to interact with you guys in the rock community from this era, 70s, 80s, 90s through the mid 2000s, and see what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are on Sponge. Anyway, man, I hope everybody has a blessed Memorial weekend and gets some rest. I know I really need some. It's been a hard week at work, pulling a lot of hours this week. And I hope everybody gets to relax and relaxation and rest that they so desperately deserve. I want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, I would have nothing. And just want to always mention that. I forget to mention that in my videos sometimes. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.